Cyber attacks are part of a growing and increasingly well-organized criminal industry. Hackers generally execute cybercrimes using a few select methods. The classic method is stealing hardware from an organization. This form of data breach is generally carried out by an internal source, like an employee with direct access to critical components of IT infrastructure. Far more common are digital forms of attack. With increased technological connection over the past decade, hackers now favor attacks like Trojan files, malicious links, and spyware, just to name a few. These kinds of attacks can go unnoticed for long periods. A survey by IBM found that in 2020, the average time it took for an organization to detect the presence of a data breach was 207 days. Hackers often use this time to collect further data and build backdoors into a network for future attacks. Data can be leveraged for many illicit purposes. It is often used for financial gain or to create negative PR for an organization. Here are 5 ways that threat actors leverage stolen data after a breach. 1. Categorize stolen data into sellable information. For large-scale data theft, threat actors will end up with a repository of data that is untidy and not categorized based on profitability. This data can be mined for the most sensitive parts, like personal info, account credentials, and customer files. 2. Selling data on the dark web. Just like valuables are sold on a black market, stolen data is bought and sold on the dark web. 3. Committing fraudulent card transactions. One of the easiest ways for threat actors to leverage a breach is by using stolen personal and credit card information to make direct purchases. 4. Blackmail organizations for ransom. Blackmailing companies is a cruel yet effective way for threat actors to leverage the data they steal. Using this method, threat actors can demand large sums of money for the return of data. If the ransom is paid, the return of your data is not guaranteed. Threat actors can duplicate the data to continue making threats, or encrypt the data on their machines, making it unusable. For many organizations, sensitive data is plentiful, and if leaked, it can leave a negative financial mark and a bad reputation for the victim organization. 5. Steal company info for fraudulent tax returns and scams. An organization's data often contains address details, social security numbers, tax ID codes, and other financial information. A security breach can leave your data vulnerable to being used for tax payouts or use your good name to run scams on would-be customers. So how do you prevent a data breach from happening? Unfortunately, threat actors are always innovating and evolving. There is no guaranteed way to prevent a breach, but there are ways to minimize the threat of one occurring. Here are a few tips that can help prevent a breach. Limit file and data access for each employee to only those that are needed for their work. In the case that someone's account is breached, this will limit the data a hacker has access to. Ensure your vendors fully comply with security protocols when you grant them access to your sensitive data. Conduct employee security awareness training sessions. Constantly patch and update applications on your network. Applications that are not regularly updated are prone to bugs and malicious activity. And finally, observe password best practices. To go beyond just tips, partnering with a reputable managed service provider is the best option. An MSP will work with your organization to craft a comprehensive and tailored security plan to protect you against data breaches.